We had our fun with all that more conversation, but I think we're due for another rant video. Which is a shame. I expect I'd have to do a rant because the story trailer. I kind of wanted to see Cyrax gameplay because if you know how I feel about the new era and especially the story expansion, I don't like it, and I try to ignore it. But it just makes sense as content to give my thoughts, and I kind of something I have opinions on it. I am just trying to ignore it and trying to separate it from me actually liking this game. Surprisingly, Cyrax gameplay. The gameplay's cool. I don't know much to comment on it. I'll probably focus on story stuff, but I'll play it. I think this cinema. I don't miss anything. So I assume this is like a training thing. I think they got like some hologram room, like the MKX Special Forces training thing. Because I don't know why these two and Bihan were just this big ass room. I assume it's like a training facility thing. I know there's like dialogue that like suggests there's legitimate beef between the two, and there probably will be. But that might be like an intro dialogue they put on top of it. Either way, Sector comes across as a dick. Don't really care for it, right? Like, I think. I mean, I've always saw Sector based on the Midway version, who is obviously evil, but also that Sector, the person behind Sector, we don't really know anything about. So I've never really liked it. Or just never really cared for the take of Sector's just this fucking douchebag perfectionist. It's just not very interesting to me. I feel like you could have a much more complex character, considering his dad's a Grandmaster. Or I guess not now. Of course not. There's bios for all three, which is the main reason I'm proud to make a video on this, because the trailer itself doesn't really inform us on much. I think the bios also don't inform us on much, but it warrants a video complaining about him. So far unimpressed, but I am just interested in seeing their characterization from like intro dogs and whatever, because obviously the characters haven't really got it. This wedding looks shit. So you've got every character, Smoke included, at his brother's wedding, right? None of them are dressed up. Only Scorpion and Harumi is, and they're dressed up in the most absurd costumes. Scorpion, he looks like fucking. It looks like a Barai show look. Like dude's wide as fuck. Like just from the neck down. That's just a Barai show costume. That's just like a new alternate for him unlocked. Harumi with the big ass headwear thing. That's just a Delia design, as far as I'm concerned. I would say, it's so cool to see Harumi in a game finally. Where's the cameo though? NetherRealm. Where are the fucking DLC cameos? And I'll get into DLC stuff after. I can't stand this shit, by the way. It's so cursed. The voice acting's rough. I'm gonna say that. I don't know what the general take on it is. I don't know what the most popular opinion on these are. It's so divisive on the newer Cyrax and Sector. I know the main thing people worry about is the gender. That's something I don't even really give a fuck about. I cover like anything else. So that's not my issue. I think there's a distinction between people with legitimate criticism of this scuffed ass reboot and the people who are just sexist. And it's pretty easy to tell who's on what side there. But the voice acting's rough. Genuinely, it might be harsh. I might need to give it time. But I think it might. I think I might like it less than Megan Fox as Natara, because it sounds robotic. She does pauses between like every two words. It's super robotic, which is ironic because obviously they're not robots anymore. And And yeah, just the accent. It's ridiculous to me. It comes across as very stereotypical. It's a bit much, right? So yes, we keep going. Also, yeah, get beat up, get stabbed. Johnny's gonna make a movie reference, which they literally did this joke in the main story of Johnny making a movie reference of Kung Lao being confused and then Johnny explaining, "You've done this joke already." And I'm very tired of the Johnny jokes, like drawing something very serious, which we haven't really had that instance in the MK12 story, I don't think. But you had it in other stuff like MK11, Garrus shows up, kills a bunch of soldiers, then Johnny just cracks a joke about, oh, who's this guest villain or whatever. And it's like, you're not fucking funny, dude. It's super lame. I've seen someone say it's MCU MCU dialogue, and I think it's worse than that. But I get the comparison. It's not funny. You're not fucking funny, dude. So Cyrax gameplay here. I wish the Cyrax gameplay trailer focused on Cyrax gameplay and not the story stuff. I see it as a lore guy. So the most noble thing, and I guess it's a visual thing, because I can't tell from any move she's doing what the distinction between the colours would be, but her like energy stuff has different colours. You got the light blue, you got the green, obviously, and then there's like a yellow. And I mean, they all look worse than the green, obviously, but if there is a significance to the colours, and that's cool. If it's just because, oh, we wanted different colours, then I think you should have just made it all green because green looks better. I know the rolling bomb, it has the blue energy thing, so there might be a distinction. But like she does like string, like regular combo strings, and there's like a yellow or orangey aura around it. So I don't know. Again, it is cool animations and stuff. That's probably a special move actually, that leg. I think a lot of focus on kicks, which is interesting. I so don't care for the Lingwei drama. She talks like a child, I feel. I really don't like it. Beyond just casually freezing a guy. See, kind of like I guess that's a throw into a bomb setup. So the bomb setup looks sick. This is a bomb that tracks. That's probably the coolest thing I've seen. I know it flies up, and you got another net thing there. She does a lot of crazy stuff, but I mean, I can't really make out the specifics on it, but she looks very fun. I am excited for it. The fatal blow is kind of rad here. I do like the fate tie actually quite a lot. There's a train. I like the burning thing. I think she has heels on, and I don't like that, but I can't really tell in gameplay. The only reason I notice is because she like stabs the heel into the opponent's head in a fatality. Actually, I might not. I don't know. Which is a shit line as well, because superior, you know, that normally implies a higher rank, so she is your superior. She has like the Deadly Alliance overhand chop, which I appreciate. They've done a good amount of 3D era moves here, but it's normally special moves if you get anything. Here, you know, that's an actual like just regular combo attack, a regular 3D era pop-up. So that's neat. I don't like them showing the faces in the outro pose. I hope the normal outro just keeps it on. I get having it open for intros, that's fine. Outros are no. Because the outros are just to look at their coolest, and quite frankly, having like the weird Iron Man helmet half off thing is not them at their coolest. The faces look fine, by the way. I just don't like seeing their faces. Anarchy is a wasp, that's fun. So here's I think this is the biggest reveal. the Chaos Reigns collection. And I checked the Nintendo eShop, the official description reads that it is the collection edition, which they also in a tweet say it's like the complete collection or whatever. It seems like the complete edition. It does. Considering they did a full KB2 here, this is the amount of DLC MK11 had. Which again, I expect the story to just be new Cyrax sector. Then you do the guess in a KB2 after the expansion with Jade, Jin, and Cassie, who are other data mine characters. I'm leaning on the fact they're just scrapped now, as well as any future cameos. I think it's all just scrapped. I know Ed Boo made a tweet talking about how there was a meeting for KP2 cameo ideas. Gave off some real shit ideas, by the way. Kid Thunder was the best idea on that list, which is quite telling. So, surely that wasn't an actual meeting. That I find that baffling how those were their best cameo ideas. Like, if you want to do a joke as this character, you have mocap. Like, why is he not a cameo yet? Or Meat. I don't even see Meat as a joke, but that's also an obvious one. But I digress. I hate how there's no cameos in this pack, but is what it is. But yeah, I think, again, I want to be wrong, but I'm just going to see this as the complete edition in my mind. I'm not going to tell everyone that, oh, this is 100% a complete edition. I think it most likely is. But I'm not going to misinfo spread it. That's just what I think. And if I'm wrong, then that's great. But I'm not going to have expectations with modern MK, because when I do, then yeah, I'm let down. And when I don't, then they surpass my expectations. So yeah, I'm just going to see this as the full package. If there is more DLC, I'll get it, because I like the game. I think they do bad creative choices, but the game itself, the gameplay, pretty good. I like the roster, the gameplay. That's why I even bother, right? So yeah, you've got a release bundle now. Got the pre-order skins. The anime thing interests me just because maybe this means we're getting renders for all the animalities, which would be appreciated. I think that'd be cool, because these are very good looks. The Scorpion one is actually quite cute, the face. Maybe I'm insane for saying that. I'm excited for animalities. Those are quite fun. And that's it. So I'll go to the bios now, I guess. Again, just general thoughts on the trailer. Don't like the story stuff. What a surprise. The new saves are cool. I didn't even talk about them. They showed two, I guess, Chaos Round saves. This one has tiki heads and it's real massive eyes behind that move and shit. It looks rad. Oh, also that's a new cameo Sub-Zero move, which I think Cyber Sub-Zero had a parry like that. But that's a cool idea, freezing your teammate to then pass it on to another. Kind of like an ice clone, I suppose. I think that's fun. So that's cool. Good to know that cameos are getting stuff. They've done, since the Key update, they added so much to the existing cameos. That's the only thing I can think of why they didn't do cameos in this pack, just because they're adding so much to all their existing cameos. Because a lot of DLC cameos just really blow the base roster out. Into just the amount of moves they have, or just creative ideas and whatnot. So if they do that, then fine, I guess. Again, the only thing I think that would be a satisfying conclusion is a DLC pack with 3 Mortal Kombat characters, not a guest. Do you need 3 MK characters to get up to MK11's 32 MK fighters? You gotta at least meet that amount, surely. And then also the total roster's in 38, so it just about beats MK11 by one guest. And then 5 cameos, right? And then you get 25 cameos. But again, I'm not expecting that anymore when they've done a bundle that comes with the game itself. yeah, this stage cool. There's another one that's like outdoors in Chaos Round. There's like a club. It's like a Havoc club or whatever, and that one's a lot of fun. This is it. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know if Rain's in the story. I don't know why Rain would be there. Probably not. But yeah, let me move on to the bios now. We'll start with Noob because it's the most basic one. I don't know anything to add. It's information we know about the character already. It's a Chaos Realm version of Noob. Interesting that he actually dies though. They say Beyond dies, but that could just be bad wording. There's a lot of very poor wording here. So it's nothing. Nothing burger bio, basic information for a basic character. So yeah, that's about it. Cyrax is one pisses me off the most. It starts with a good idea. I don't know how you pronounce it, but the Zaki. It's a Linkway subclan, and that is a good idea. Subclans for Linkway, they go around. That's how they have like a global influence. That's how they recruit people across the world, right? That's a good idea. The Tengu could become one. There's an idea there. I imagine they won't redevelop this because it will either be they'll just be underdeveloped. They'll barely be mentioned in the game, or it will be like Yamagadi, where it just gets mentioned non-stop and it's just exhausting. Also, yeah, from Nigeria. So they changed the country she's from, which I fucking hate, right? It's their own law as well. MK9 established this, that Cyrax is from Botswana, another African country, right? So I think they just see, well, if she's African still, then it's fine. They don't really care, right? They'll do the stereotypical voice, right? And they'll just go, oh, whatever country, it doesn't matter, right? And it comes across as racist. I don't know any other way to put it, right? It does. It's a fucking stupid change. They didn't have to do it. And I'm tired of the whole, well, it's a new era argument because the new era is fucking shit. And also, change for the sake of change. We don't need it. We don't need these changes to characters' core identity. Because what is the reason? What is the reason for changing the country she's from? Right? Like, if she's meant to be like actual African representation, why are you just juggling the country she's from around? It's almost like they don't care, which I'm pretty sure they don't. So that is incredibly lame. That is so fucking stupid. Also, these bios don't tell us their real names. I'm sure there'll be a intro that'll drop it. But like, we have to call Rain fucking Zafiro now. Even though Rain is it's a fine name. He's an Edenian / Outworlder. Rain is fine. But no, Zafiro, that makes more sense. Sure, NRS. But yeah, it is funny if their real names are still Cyrax and Sector. They still get referred to as such. So they are just still code names, which I mean, it was mentioned in the story, so I wasn't expecting them to change that. But Noob Cyber, no one ever says the name Noob Cyber. I'm pretty sure it's not in canon anymore. Right, I think it's just the announcer. Which I find dumb. I know the name is incredibly stupid, but also it is kind of important to separate Bihan's name if it's like meant to be him severing himself from his past identity. It makes sense they'd have a different name. But I digress. Martial arts prodigy. Also, yeah, like Cyrax is just born to a clan instead of recruited, which it's just not very interesting. It's incredibly basic. You've got a very basic idea here that's cool, but you're not going to do anything with it, and you've just swapped Cyrax's nationality. So thanks a lot, NRS. Also, yeah, it mentioned like all this like free thinking stuff, which I like the idea of. That's like something that in the logic of the new era, and you're giving these good characters things they deserve. This is something Cyrax deserves, having free will. That is a change that would make sense for Liu Kang to make, right? But also, like, Squaipian proceeds to say that like her loyalty to Sector is absolute. Not Sector, Bihan. So what's the deal there? I'm interested in the characterization, but this bio's lame, the voice is lame, and she's had quite basic dialogue so far. I'll have to wait for the intros, I think, because I can't imagine I'll find anything intriguing in that story. And lastly, Sector, which it doesn't bother me much because it doesn't fucking tell me anything about Sector. It just tells me about her mother and her father. Which, learning about Sector's mom, that's interesting, because the dad's already a well-established character in the lore, so it's interesting to find out about the mom, but it is just, oh, she was a Lin Kuei warrior. Like, okay, I fucking figured that one out. Jesus. A neat thing is, Sector learns to become a fighter because she's inspired by her mom. That's cute. I like that lore. It is especially interesting because it adds a bit more depth. If you take the idea to actual Sector, not new era Sector or previous timeline Sector, because it means, the reason he becomes an assassin or whatever is because he wants to be like his mom, not his dad. And I think that is a very interesting thing for the character. I'll get into why. I'll get into why the dad's an asshole. Because the daddy is just a master armorer, I guess. Whatever that entails. Obviously, armorer stuff, you're making armor, right? But like, they weren't exactly wearing much armor until they did the cyborg stuff. So what's the deal there? Obviously, it's because Sector's dad is responsible for the Cyber Initiative, right? So then Sector takes over. Sure. That's basically the equivalent of it now, And the dad just gets to quietly retire, I guess. Which I fucking hate. Because I'm just going to call him a Nero because that's the Defense of the Realm name. Even though it's basically a different Grandmaster character. But right, a Nero is responsible for both the Shiryu Massacre and the Cyber Initiative. And Sector sort of just becomes the narrative scapegoat. Because Sector, unlike his dad, is playable. Right? Playable and has an actual name, right? And that's sort of been the thing. Like no canonical name and no playable appearance or major appearance in a mainline game. I think that's held Sector's dad back from being a major player. Because quite frankly, Scorpion's Revenge, he should be going after a Nero, not Quan Chi. I know Quan Chi killed him, of course, but he was just complying to Nero's contract. Like in Revenge Stories, you don't stop at killing the hired gun. You kill the guy who hired him, right? So a Nero is more responsible than that, and that's a whole big thing that no one really mentions. And of course, the Cyber Initiative fucked over a lot of lives. But no, it's just, it's Sector's fault somehow, even though it wasn't his idea. In the Midway games, he didn't know about the slaying protocols because he gets brainwashed too. So I think that's wasted potential there. Just sidelining the dad. He gets to quietly retire. Like, fuck you. That dude deserves the worst. Sensing this is insane. Like, sensing Sector was a kindred spirit. Bihan is 100% banging her. Like, that's definitely the ship. I'm quite worried. I'm fairly certain. I don't know what I actually do in a character. Judging by her very aggro dialogue, she'll probably just be able to be quite evil like Bihan. Which I'm not really interested in, right? I like villain sector in the Midway games. Because, this corrupted, robot who just wants to convert everyone. It's rad. But, like, if you want to delve into Sector as a person, I think there's a lot of potential because he's essentially being manipulated by his dad, right? They don't focus on it, but his dad's an asshole, right? So, like, obviously there's influence there. And they just don't want to explore it because they changed that law. They just sideline the dad, and this bio suggests they're not doing much with her. So again, I'll wait to see the characterization. But so far, I'm unimpressed. Look on the renders. The Shadow clone looks rad. More effort went into his design than any of the actual Lin Kuei characters because he's not a palette swap. They actually put detail here. Hell, this would pass as like a Deception noob costume, really. Back when he was just a black silhouette, right? The Shadow clone is really cool. Hell, just give it a cameo, right? Like, basic stuff like that. I imagine like there must be like some sort of puppet character thing. The Shadow clone must do something huge in the gameplay to have such an insane design like this. I hope they don't waste the opportunities there. They've already wasted their chance to do Noob Smoke. They've already missed the mark there. Noob's costume is probably my favourite. And that's if the headwear is part of the gear, so I can change the silly hat. And also I don't like the severed hand, but in gameplay it's not really noticeable. So I can look past it. I think I should have put the Chaos pendants from Deception on him. On his belt as well, so it's also like a Quan Chi reference simultaneously. I think that would have been better than just a severed hand, but I guess people wouldn't recognize that. Because I assume the severed hand is there as some sort of mind control thing. I obviously don't know whose hand it is or what the deal with it is. That's just me assuming. But I don't know. I'm going to say on Cyrax renders, they really highlight how it's lame how they did palette swaps for him. I think this is actually a good design. I think it's better than the NRS designs. I don't like having the bits of the arms exposed because I think it should be fully covered to convey the idea that they still pass as cyborgs, at least visually, right? And they mostly do. It's just the arms, which again aren't really noticeable in gameplay. You can't tell in this render. Cyrax is more noticeable. Also, Cyrax, one of the only changes between the two. She has fingerless gloves. I guess because she carries bombs. So there's that. Again, I like the designs. I hope there's some cooler masks. Not masks, the helmets. But yeah, they're good designs. Interestingly, the belt says Lin Kuei Industries, so they've got like they've got a brand. Can I get some branded Lin Kuei merch? So I mean that's funny, I guess. I guess I'll end up using this render for an OC because I wrote a fanfic, NK Reborn, where I write stories much better than whatever NRS is doing. Quite frankly, low bar, but I do. So there's a cheeky plug there. I'll basically just end up using this for an OC. Because Lin Kuei carries got next gen Lin Kuei carries Frost, and I've got some other OCs. It would just make sense if I give Cyrax an apprentice, and it's this character essentially, just reworked. So I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to pull whatever I can for my own writing purposes. Not interested in the official narrative stuff though. So yeah, I feel I just give my thoughts on the writing and the law changes, and I don't like him. I mean, Noob I'm indifferent to. I think if to put him in this game, he shouldn't be in his roster anyway. He could have been a cameo, and that would have been more than fine, right? Like he does not need to be in 2 games in a row, especially when he's so narratively purposeless. But in his expansion, I think he will be quite important. He might even be the one to beat Titan Havoc at this point. I mean, unless they do another choose your character thing, which I fucking hope they don't, then who else is going to do it? So I mean, you had to do something different, Kirky. Hell, I'd argue they could have changed him more. Right, like I don't think it should be Bihan. I think it should be a different character behind Noob altogether. However, I think it's a one-off, and then whenever Noob inevitably returns, assuming they don't reset the timeline before that, then Noob will show up as a different character, probably Bihan's dad. Right, that's the general idea. Um, but yeah, like aesthetically, again, this will be my favorite Noob design if you can have a good gear piece for him, because I think the armor's rad. I think the green really pops. I hope there's palettes that change the color of the green, but since the portal has green accents, they probably won't change that because they don't even bother changing Raiden's lightning or other stuff like that. I mean, there's Dark Raiden, sure, but besides that, they don't. So I'm at low standards there. I'm not expecting much from that. But yeah, I think the Chaos Noob idea is fine. It's boring. I'm interested in it narratively. I'm interested, the visual look and if it changes as gameplay in any way. I think it's, the Monster Energy flavor. It's a good way to spice him up in a roster that he really didn't need to be a part of. So I think giving him something distinct for this game is quite an important thing to do, and I think they've managed to achieve that. So yeah, that's all for this video. I assume I'll do Sector and Noob gameplay trailers. I probably won't give my thoughts on that because there won't be bio stuff or whatever, right? And I don't care about the story cinematic stuff enough to really properly critique it, because I'm just going to say, well, it's bad because whatever weird law change stuff that they haven't fleshed out, or it's just such an absurd idea, like Kuai Liang and Harumi being a thing. It's such an absurd idea that I'm not going to care about it at all, regardless of what you do with it. So that probably won't be much for me to review that. I am excited to see Sector's gameplay though, because I'm a Sector main in basically any time he's playable. So I could become a Sector main. I think that's quite possible. The roster in this game is quite stacked though, so I'm not sure. But I am excited to see what he does. Or she. I'm still not used to that. But yeah, that'll do it for now. Other big things, I mean, I'll probably upload this after I do my backlog of UMKD videos. And I'm starting my Armageddon versus, bringing that back, which I do like half a year ago. And that's coming back. I got 2 videos recorded already. Probably do more because I'm looking to rake the views in. So if you made it this far, then that's a reveal for you. And yeah, I'll probably continue doing Young Kiddie stuff. I can't imagine I'll get particularly bored of it anytime soon because it's my favourite MK game, and the roster just got 20 more characters, right? And I only modded it at V6, like a couple of weeks before V7 came out, so there's still a lot I haven't really experienced with it. So I'll figure out more content to do for it, I'm sure. Probably not with commentary, but we'll see. So I'm going to do more of that because it's doing well. It's performing well. It does better than most of my videos, and I can consistently pump those types of videos out instead of commentaries. So I will do more of that. That is the plan. More 3D era content, bringing it back, because I haven't done much of it for a while, and that's sort of the main thing I do on the channel, I guess. And it does better than modern MK videos, right? Which I find ironic, because when I would review trailers in the past, that in the build for MK12 releasing, I was very critical, and I stand by a lot of it. I don't stand by me saying cameos would be bad. And besides that, I basically stand by everything else I said that wasn't gameplay related. And people got really mad at me, especially with the smoke reveal, which again I still stand by, because smoke reveal is super fucking lame. Like, always a palette swap with shitty hair, and he's got a shitty little knife now. Like, what an underwhelming reveal. I said someone who likes playing as him now. Nothing but a good character, Smoke is, but I get a lot of flack for that. But now the game is out, most people are more critical than I am about it. So I normally don't get much flack when I do videos like this, and I also just don't draw very much attention, because I think 3D videos are more distinct. There's less of them. It's a niche thing that I can help fulfill. So I do better doing that. But yeah, back when I was doing videos like that, I got accused a lot of hating the views, even though they did not generate many views. They really didn't. I could have dropped a Mario Kart video in that time, and it would have beat any of those MK12 videos. I do it because I care. What a wholesome ending. So yeah, that's it. I think that's all the news I have. That's all the thoughts I have. So yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.